Hello, everyone, and welcome to another special edition of non-NPR radio podcasting, brought to you by the Unapologetic Nerds. My name may or may not be Aaron, and I am here with my co-host, the Honorable Brian Marshall. Brian, welcome to the show.
That's all about a massacre to you, sir.
Yes, indeed, Brian. Brian, this is a special episode because you have in your possession a most cherished technological instrument. Can you explain yourself?
Yeah, thy lord was very kind to thee, to the little peasant. And your grace, he has given me a new podcast mic. I got a Moano, that's how you say it, PDW 200, and with a boom mic, or just a boom arm, because I'm lazy, so I can sit in my lazy boy. And the funny thing about this is that, I sent Aaron/Joe a voice recording, and because he's such a good friend, because he's the best friend in the world. He's like, you know what? I'm glad you spent like $100 on this mic, and you don't sound any better than my phone on the speaker. So there's that to deal with. I appreciate that.
Well, listen. I was trying to do like the NPR voice at the beginning. That was my funny. I was talking to you about and went over like a wet fart. And I botched the intro too. I forgot to say a little something that I'm trying to. I should have a script in front of me about what I'm supposed to say for the intro, but we're learning. Yeah, so you did get that. You sound great though. You do. There's more bass to your voice. You sound like a man with a chin. So
Thank you, my lord.
Yeah, so it sounds great. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked that you have that. I do want to get one, so I'm gonna get one eventually. It's just thy Lord did not shine brightly on me.
No,
So,
it was a rough week for old Aaron, money wise.
we're not gonna talk about that. And I don't know who Aaron
part
is.
of our weeks.
Yeah, well, you already told me about your week, and my week was and then it was good. So that was my week.
I went to the Grapevine Mills Mall. So for Texas, the biggest mall we have in Texas, and it couldn't be more ghettoer, which is the ironic thing. But we did the Sea Life, it's like an aquarium, and we did Legoland. So that was fun because I'm a family man.
Yeah, that is very ghetto of you and very white trash of you, and I'm just glad that you're living up to your potential.
For the price, both of them should have had more stuff going on for the price, for sure.
I've been to California, and I've been to the Legoland there, and that Legoland is sick. So, but it's like it's only cool if you are one autistic like me and love Legos, or two have a family, or two. I didn't mean
Dude.
that to be. I didn't mean that to be as
Okay.
mean as it sounded. Or two actually have a family.
I love doing the thing because, obviously I'm a dad, but I'd love doing the thing where I'll go to these places where you're supposed to bring kids, and my kid's out playing or doing something, and another dad will come up to me. He goes, he'll cut the shit and he'll be like, "So which one's yours?" And then I love doing the thing. I look at him dead in the eye and go, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Well, which kid's yours?" And I'm like, "I don't have any kids." And then he's got to sit there and be like, "Is this guy a fucking creep? Like, what the hell? This guy got no kids. He's at a kid place. What's going on?" And I love watching them process that. And then I kind of like pat him on the shoulder and like, "Oh, just joking, dude. It's the one that's right there that looks exactly like me." And it gets him every time, man. And every time. It's so funny.
You know what's funny about that? You still are a creep. You're still a psycho creep, but you were psycho creep with a kid. and you should if you're really listen, if you're really about it like that, you should have pointed to them like, yeah, that one, the one that's part of the superior race.
Yeah, or just point out one that's like the one that looks just like me and point at some black kid.
That would have been funnier. That would have been good. That would have been good. All right,
J
all
Ron over
right.
there, he's mine.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Nah, it's
Why don't we
cool.
tell
It's cool.
why don't we tell the
Oh,
ones of folks that
our
are listening?
yes, our honorable guests, anyone who's listening to this podcast. We got a couple of great topics today in the news.
Indeed.
We're going to be talking about a sad passing. First of all,
Mm.
then we're going to be talking about the Doom trailer and how the fact that Avengers and Dune will be out on the same day. We'll get into that. The PS6
That's
is put in
doomsday to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The PS6 put on hold. That's crazy. Phantom Blade Zero. That's a game. GTA leaks. What? The Wolverine
What?
Flash and a game about having a body cam. That's fun. So we're gonna get into all of that, and then we're gonna have
Hey.
the main topic. Hold on. We're gonna get to
Okay.
it.
Oh man, I'm
We're
so
gonna get,
excited
we're
to
gonna
talk about this.
yes, we are. We're gonna get onto this main topic about PlayStation going all digital in 2028. We're gonna have some thoughts. There's gonna be some feelings, and we might lose our friendship over this. Well, I don't know. And then we're gonna have the
Wouldn't be the
question.
first time.
Whatever. Listen. I won't miss you. I'm just gonna say that. We're
15
gonna,
years for nothing. Piece of shit.
listen. I never claimed to be nice. Then we'll have a question for the pod. Thank you for anybody who asks the question. We really, really appreciate them. We're hoping to get more questions throughout the week. So if anybody on Discord or go ahead, yeah, interrupt me. That's fine.
No, I was just gonna say real quick. I really appreciate the one question from Sir Jesse from Nerds. But listen, I posted 2 threads on my Facebook and Instagram, and what's funny is it shows the amount of people who looked at it, which is over 30 each time that I posted it, and then it shows the person's profile. So for all you people who took the time out to look at my story because you're nosy, but you couldn't write a question, you know what?
Dishonor on you.
Dishonor on
on your
you.
account. No, you know what? Listen, I as a person who just is flippant about everything, I completely understand like looking at something and like, I gotta scratch my balls and go do something else. I understand. But if you guys would want to leave a question, we would really appreciate it. We do actually really care about you guys. If anyone out there listening or gals, maybe there's one girl. I don't think so, but maybe there is. We care
God help
about
you if you
you.
are.
We care about you. We'd love for you guys to ask a question, anything that's on your mind in nerd culture, or just whatever. Like, hey man, what kind of tires do you have on your car? I'd tell you. But yeah. So yeah, question for the pod towards the end, and then Joe's MetaQuest minute. We'll get into what that is at the end.
Yeah, what's he been doing with that thing?
Watching movies. Let's just go with that. Totally not full body VR experiences, totally not that for sure. All right, Brian. Well, okay, so sad news to start. I'm sure anybody who's listening to this has probably already known. I can't say her name right, so forgive me if I'm saying her name wrong.
Hayden
Go ahead.
Panettiere.
You know it? All right.
Hayden Panettiere. Yeah.
Oh man, well, it probably should have been in a penitentiary because after what happened. Fortunately, she passed away. I know her from a couple things. The most important to me, and we talked about this property last week, but she was Kairi from Kingdom Hearts, the main female protagonist of the game, and she was also another show I really liked her in was Heroes from back in the day when they were really didn't really know how to make a comic book movie or a superhero movie 100% yet, so they had like that kind of everybody kind of has generic mutant powers, and she was in that, and I thought she was one of the best parts of that show. It is really sad to hear about her passing. Wishing her family nothing but the best. Yeah, but Brian, you got any thoughts on the sad passing?
Yeah, huge shout out to her for the game she was in. Kingdom Hearts, and she was also in Until Dawn as well, a PS5 game. Um,
I don't know that. Was she
yeah,
also in Scream?
yeah, that's a big reason why I wanted to bring her up real quick because that's my favorite horror franchise. And after three was so bad, we all thought the franchise was dead. And then Scream 4 comes back, and she plays. Oh man, I forget the dude's name in Scream 1, but the guy that makes up all the rules and Scream 1, who's like everybody's a suspect. That guy. She basically plays like a female version of that character, and just her character alone kind of just made the movie so much better, the franchise so much better. And she's obviously very pretty to look at as well. And
The
yeah,
most important thing, obviously.
yeah, she just made that franchise a lot better. She made that movie really good. She was like the best part of that movie, I would argue. Now, granted, as we go on to later screams, what the writers did to her character, not very good. But yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to her because we've been following her career for a very long time.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Even though I don't really like know her last name, I couldn't say that very well. That's more of a me problem. But I actually have been a fan of hers. I've always thought she was good in everything she's been in. I do understand, her being a child star did, the child star curse as far as not having the best social life kind of caught up with her. And not to get into it, you get online, you hear things that there might be some foul play or something might be kind of going on. Brian's more of a conspiracy guy than I am, but that's who I don't know anything about it, but it's just one of those weird things to be like, oh yeah, that oh my gosh, they're gone, and she's around our age, Brian. I think she's actually younger than you old fart.
maybe, yeah, she's also the little girl in Remember the Titans.
Oh my god, she is.
Yeah,
Dang, golly,
yeah,
well, look at that.
the coach's daughter. Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, again, nothing but respect to her. Wishing the best for her and her family, or her family. But we're gonna move on to the Doomsday new trailer. Uh,
Ooh.
yeah, you. Let's kind of move that into the fact that it's also gonna be coming out on the same day as Dune, or as you call it, Doomsday.
Oh, yeah, they're calling it Doomsday because you know how they had Barbieheimer because what the Barbie film and Oppenheimer came out the same weekend. They're calling this Doomsday.
Yeah, I'm not aware of the Barbie thing, but that's cool. Um,
Yeah,
I'm
it's gonna
of
be
the
a busy
opinion,
weekend, man.
right? Well, I'm of the opinion people like you will do a double feature, and
Oh,
I'm, yeah.
well, I
So
got news for you.
oh, more news on the news section. How dare you? If it's not on the list, you don't
Yeah.
bring it up. We've been over this. No, I'm playing. Go ahead.
So
What's up?
I'm seeing Doom. I'm seeing Doomsday. Um, that Friday at 3:10, and then that same weekend on Sunday morning, like at 11, I'm seeing Dune 3. Because Dune's, I'm seeing both. I'm really more excited for Dune. Dune's one of my favorite franchises of like the past decade. So I'm fingers crossed this movie's good.
Hold on. Can I ask you something about that?
Yes,
Are
please.
you okay? Obviously, you didn't read the book because books are for nerds and we can't read. So we've been over that.
Oh, there's
But
like 15 of them.
exactly. But also, you're a fan of like this iteration of Dune. You're not like you don't give a crap about the one from the 1980s or whatever. Since the first one came, you're like, I'm down with this. Second one, oh my gosh, I want to make love to that giant worm. Third one, oh my gosh, have my marry me. Is that kind of where you're at, or are you like, no, I actually really like the lore. I understand the overall philosophy of this universe. Like, what kind of Dune fan are you?
Yeah, so I haven't read the books because there's 15 of them. I'm really just going by the movies. Now, that being said, my brother-in-law has read all the books, and he's a huge fan of the books. And he did explain to me some of the lore as far as these movies go, and where this is going to go. And man, here's the thing with these movies. I'm hoping three is. I'm hoping 3 is like the icing on the cake and tops the franchise off. But there's still so much more story to tell. And Denis Villeneuve, who's directing these movies, who I think has done an amazing job. I don't think he's got a bad movie under his catalog. He said he,
By the way, great job of saying his name. First try, you said it perfectly. I would have messed that one up, so I'm just gonna give you your brownie points for that. Please continue.
thank you, sir. Yeah, so he said that he's done with this franchise after this film because of how taxing it is. You know, it's for him, it's his avatar, so to speak, where it takes so long to make these movies perfect for him. And if you know anything about his catalog, he likes to do a perfect film. He's like, I mean, I don't know if I want to say it like Nolan, but he's kind of on that level where he wants to make like for him a perfect film, and for the audience
You
as
know,
well.
you say that, except that first one was so boring that it
Oh, you don't
almost
like story.
it's not
This man don't like story.
it's not that I don't like story. It's the fact that that movie takes forever to get going and the ending kind of sucks. Like the middle part's actually pretty cool with, and all that, the little, coup that they do in the middle of the movie or whatever. But that beginning's, oh gosh, just please something happen.
Uh, I'm fine with it because again, there's 15 books worth of lore. It's so hard to make like you got to make this movie action packed for people like me and you, but you also need to add lore and need to explain these characters because this series, three. I assume three is going to do very very well. It's already tracking with pre-sales, so they're probably going to do three more of these at least. So if they continue, if they end up doing three more of these movies, I would say the first movie's warranted being slow because it will have that buildup of who these characters are and all this stuff. Now, if they stopped at three, which would be insane, then it's like, okay, we could have just skipped a lot of this crap if you're just going to do three films because who cares about these X amount of characters and all this world building if you're just going to stop at three when there's 15 books. Now, I don't expect them to do 15 movies, but they they could they could with quotes here condense 15 books or so into six movies. Uh, Hopefully they do that. Now they have the show on HBO where it's a prequel to the movies
Did you mean to
where
rhyme, by the
it's
way? They have the show on HBO. Did you mean that? Was that
yeah,
intentional?
and no, no,
Boo.
but the show is basically the women that are in the movie. Oh god, I'm trying to think of um
The mind reading, yelling
yeah,
women who can yell at
it's
you and make
about
you
them
do
and how
stuff.
they became. Yeah,
Right.
but I digress.
Another thing about a bunch of chicks. That's what I want to see. Now I'm playing. I'm playing. By the way, I'm playing. I'm sure it'll be very good. It's
Sexist Aaron over here.
it's it's in whatever with the books. I understand. But no, I mean I don't know. That first movie, I don't know. But the second movie was good. Second movie was really good. So they got me back. I'm
Se-
still tired.
the second movie was oh my god, dude. That second movie was freaking to a film fart snob like me. Like that freaking second film was absolutely amazing. I saw it in IMAX, and when Timothy Chalamet, when he finally rides the damn worm, I'm looking around like, are you people fucking seeing what I'm seeing? This is like this is film. This is cinema, and everybody's just like, oh, okay, this is cool, I
You,
guess.
you know
And
what
I
you are,
want to
man.
shake people.
You know what you are, man. You are the guy trying to start a clap, but no one's clapping after you. that's
Yeah,
what
it's
you. That's
bullshit.
what you
That
did.
deserved a clap. That deserved a clap. But yeah,
Uh,
but
all right, fair
they
enough.
also
Go ahead.
I was gonna say they also put out um two new trailers, or I'm sorry, a new trailer for each of the movies, which showed a little more footage. The Dune one, it's okay, but I think with the Doomsday one, they showed the Comic Con footage, and that's what they should have led with first off, instead of giving the audience the trailer that they gave us like a month ago. Because this one shows a lot more story stuff about Dune and Doom. I'm sorry. that they
Yeah,
should have showed off.
get ready. Call Dr. Dune out here.
Doctor Dune 3. Yeah, so this one shows a little more of his backstory, and it shows the Fantastic Four actually talking about him and to him. So they knew him prior to all this stuff. Because if you watch the Fantastic Four movie, there, I mean, I saw it only one time, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. There's no inkling that they ever knew Doctor Doom. There's no mention of him whatsoever or anything. So when they talk about that in this trailer, I think they should have just led with that. They show off the Sentinels as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I still maintain my previous thoughts, being that there's a bunch of people I don't care about, and a villain that just showed up out of nowhere, who I know from the comics, but I don't know this movie version, and all I know is that he's played by Robert Downey Jr. And it's Pedro Pascal annoying me on screen again, crying about a buddy he had. I guess Dune, why are you here? Oh, see, I call him Dune too. Dune, why
Don't
are
get
you
it twisted.
here,
This movie's going to be a
Victor?
piece of shit. Don't get it
Yeah. Well,
twisted.
I don't know. Listen. If I want the movie to be good, I'm just saying that I'm on the
Oh, you're
apathetic
cutting out,
side.
buddy.
Well, okay, you know what? Give it time, right? I said I'm. Can you hear me now?
You're cutting out, buddy.
Give it time. We'll get there. Can you hear me now? Oh
Sorry, guys.
no!
We're having some. There it goes. You're good now.
Yay! Technical difficulties in the mountains. He strikes
All right, go
again.
ahead and say what you're going to say. Sorry.
No, that's cool, man. The mountain man strikes again, ladies and gentlemen. Um, well, I was just saying that it's I'm still apathetic. I'm still on the apathetic team because Spider-Man was good and we spoke about an hour of how much we loved it. I think it was the last podcast. I don't know. I don't listen to our podcast, but yeah, I think Spider-Man's the anomaly, so we'll see. You're putting in a bunch of characters in this movie I really don't care about, and yeah, so
Well, that's the thing. It's characters that people don't really care about. It's characters like Shang-Chi didn't get a part two. And there's a lot of rumors going on out there that's like people, sites saying like, oh, Shang-Chi is the only one that can defeat Doom. I'm going to tell you something right now. If Shang-Chi and Doom fight and Shang-Chi beats Doom, I'm walking out that fucking building. I'm gonna throw my corn on the floor. I'm gonna walk out that building. I'm so pissed I'm gonna be. If they're gonna have fucking Shang Raggedy ass Chi beat Doom over Thor, I'm walking out that fucking building. I will never, ever, ever touch another Marvel property in my life if they pull that bullshit. The fucking
but
10
Brian,
rings guy. You think he's more
but
powerful than
Brian,
Thor?
he has 10 rings. Thor doesn't even have
Oh,
one
man,
ring.
fuck.
Yeah, no, we'll see. I have no idea. I haven't been paying attention to the
I'll walk
leaks. I
out
know.
that theater.
Well, again, I haven't been paying attention to the leaks. I know we spoke about some last
Still cutting
time,
out,
but
buddy.
okay, golly, give it some time. Maybe it's where I'm
Get
at.
your Wi-Fi off?
No, I'm
Oh,
not on
okay.
the Wi-Fi. So
Okay.
I'm in the mountains, dude. Okay, I'm in the
Dude,
mountains.
you gotta get that Elon Musk Wi-Fi. Fuck.
The Musqui, the Musqui-Fi.
Yeah, the Starlink. But
Oh God.
we can go on to another topic. We don't have
Yeah.
to.
Well, again, we got to the trailer, go whatever. But let's talk about stuff we do like anime. Wow, it's episode 3. We finally bring up anime. Can you believe that? We're both '90s dudes. We both were there for Dragon Ball, even though you don't like Dragon Ball. But
Well,
let's talk about some anime. You're from what this thing says, according to the list, which we all agree on. We stick to the list. Anime's pretty litty titty over here. What's going on? Tell me why 2027 is gonna be lit.
yeah. So anime in 2027 is going to be litty like a titty. Now I'm gonna go down this. There's let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. There's like 16 animes on this list. All of them pretty big, by the way. So I can just name them off, and then we can just talk about them if you want afterwards. So we got the Jujutsu Kaisen Calling Game Part 2. We got the Solo Leveling movie. We have Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie Part 2. Um, Firion, the Golden Land arc.
Free
Lord
Ren.
of
I'm gonna help you out real quick. Free Ren.
Frieren. Yeah, I know what it is. I've never seen it though. Lord of Mysteries season 2. Chainsaw Man International Assassin season 2. Um, Dungen Meshi
Hold on. Are
season
you gonna
2.
go through all of these, or do you just need to name the fact that we got 17 and it's okay? You named the big ones. You named the big ones. Are
Okay,
you gonna
well
go
for
through
me, I'll
all of
just
them?
name the big ones. I'll just name the big
Okay,
ones
just name the big
for
ones.
me.
Like, listen, there's always a lot of anime, but I get what you're saying. A lot of the big heavy hitters are
I mean, these
coming
are the
back.
biggest animes, but for me, this is ones I'm going to personally watch. So, Jujutsu Kaisen, that's one of my favorite animes. Chainsaw Man, I, I I love Chainsaw Man so much. I have a giant movie poster of that anime.
It's a
Um,
no, it's a body pillow of Makima, and you kick your wife out of bed so you can lay with it. Don't lie to these people. How dare you? Shame on you.
um, Now this is a huge toss up for me personally. Of if I it got into my head, which one? If I could only watch one of these, which do I watch? Chainsaw Man or Don? The new arc coming out. Dude, I freaking love Don. I love Chainsaw Man too, but that's a tough one for me.
I'm
Um,
going to tell you why you picked Chainsaw Man. I'm going to tell you why you picked Chainsaw Man because they draw those people like adults and they draw Don to Don like teenagers. And there's something weird about watching Don to Don. All right,
I
when you're like
love it.
40, when you're 42 with a kid and a wife, and you got to watch these like drawn like a teenage kids get a little too skinny, if you know what I'm saying. And you're just like, all right, you know what? Maybe I am getting a little old for anime. Maybe there are just some anime that aren't for me anymore. Maybe this is about a younger generation. Also, I'm pretty sure.
How dare you?
Well, I'm also pretty sure a guy in his 30s draws the thing, yeah, and the guys in their 20s are
Dude,
animating
probably in their 50s, man. What are you talking about?
it. I'm just saying.
The
You pick Chainsaw Man. I'm going to tell you right now. That's the one you pick.
Man, but Dandadan's so freaking good, though. Well, the last one we'll talk about, and I know this will hit you right at home. Season 3 of Mashal, baby.
Okay, I am stoked with that. That was my favorite anime of last year. That
That anime's
anime
awesome.
that anime so does not take itself seriously, and it's so much fun, and it makes you want to eat cream puffs. Pause.
Cream
Uh,
puffs, cream puffs, CARE puffs.
well done,
Love
Brian.
that.
Well
That's
done.
it. That is a great anime, though. I love that anime too.
And has a superior opening from the same band. I can't
Ooh,
remember
that's
their
a tough one
names.
right there. See,
No. The other one's better.
as
The Donovan one's good. The Mashal one's better.
as a die-hard Harry Potter fan, you cannot not like Mashal because Mashal is just he's Harry Potter with no powers, but he's strong as shit.
I always likened it to if you put One Punch Man and Harry Potter in the same, like, mashed them together. Nice. Mashed them together, and like they had a baby, it would be Mashal.
Yeah.
Mash them together, Mashal. That makes sense. Maybe that's what they were going for. Um, yeah. So yeah, that was my favorite anime of the year that came out. I don't know if it was last year or the year before because time means nothing to me.
Well, they're
Um,
on season 3 next year, so it would have to be 2 years ago or 3. Yeah. But anyways, that was
Yeah, so
pretty
that's a
much
lot
it
of
for
that.
the.
So yeah, we're gonna be eating good on anime. There's a lot. I mean, Freerun coming
Oh
back is
yeah.
also a big deal for a lot of people because that took forever. Um, the big boys coming back, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, heading up towards closer to where they're ending soon. I
Well,
know.
just real quick,
Go ahead.
Chainsaw Man coming back is that's very special because they haven't done a season 2 in like so many years. They did the movie, but they haven't done a season 2 in forever, man. And like all these other animes have had like Dandadan's had 2 seasons. You know, uh Kaiju number 8's had 2 seasons since this. So I guess in that sense, I am a little more excited for Chainsaw Man out of all those.
Yeah, well, I mean, that movie was a big deal.
Oh,
I
that
mean,
movie,
I
yeah,
went
it's
to go see
awesome.
it. Yeah, I went to go see it with one of my family members, and yeah, I got family. Yeah, people like me.
Do you? Or did you pay
Maybe,
somebody?
or maybe I stole a teenager.
Oh God.
Hey, teenager can be 19.
The things Aaron says do not reflect this podcast.
Who's Aaron? I don't know who that guy is.
Oh man. Well,
Anyways,
what's next on the news docket?
oh gosh. Oh yeah. Let's. Okay, I'm fine. I thought we weren't. I was gonna still want to talk about anime because that's something I like. I'm into
No,
anime.
go
I
ahead.
watch that. No, I'm a diehard, bro. But you said let's move on, and
No, no, no.
apparently,
I thought
well,
we were done. So go
no,
ahead.
no. We could talk about how the fact that we are really eating good. Anime is one of the very few havens of still good media, still good storytelling, and all the stuff that we actually want to see out of our Western media. We could talk about that. We can go there, Brian. That's a place we could go. But no, it's
You
not on
know,
the list. It's not on the list. It's not
we
on the
don't
list.
have to do. We obviously this is an actual topic that we should get to one day. But just speaking about anime, when we were at the mall, I don't know what it is. There is nothing else like anime on this earth that, for lack of a better word, turns people like autistic. Because, and what I mean by that is certain people like me and you can watch anime and it doesn't affect us like mentally. But dude, at Grapevine Mills today, there was so many people I saw. Like there was a guy like legit carrying around a big ass pillow like of an anime character. And
Brian,
it's like some people just
Brian,
let
we said it.
that
We said
stuff
it
consume
before.
them to a point where it does something to their brain. And there's really nothing else that I can think of in nerdom or anything that really does that to your brain. Because even growing up and going to conventions, there just were so many people where you can tell like this really affects them on a level. Like they get too into it, it's like, and it messes with them. You know what I mean?
As a fellow body pillow connoisseur, I take offense to what you just said. You have you have besmirched me and all
You
the things I'm
disgusting
into.
pervert.
No, I mean, I think anime, especially nowadays, is a something that people really do connect with because those stories can hit really hard. And I think it's people are looking for identity, and they sometimes they find that in fictional characters or a fictional world that that they want to be a part of and all that. So I mean, I don't know how old that person was who
They
had the
were
body
old.
pillow.
They were probably in the 20s.
Well, to the young people out there, maybe maybe do go touch grass. You know what I'm saying? But these thoughts did not reflect the Unapologetic Nerds podcast. This man speaks for himself and not necessarily for Unapologetic and corporate.
Don't you dare
Uh,
make fun of my anime. Don't you dare.
I mean, to be speaking really candidly, that I mean that's probably been going on. Like it's in Japanese culture, a person like that would be called like an otaku, which is like a person who's really into something like that to where it kind of takes over the life.
A
And I think
freak.
that I think that kind of just kind of made its way here, and it's kind of now.
You know what it is though? It's really just white people taking it too far that I noticed, because I don't ever see that really with blacks or Mexican people. It's really just whites that that take it one step too far, and think they really are that character.
You haven't hung around enough people of color apparently, because I have, and no, it's the same.
I've hung around them once or twice.
I'm at some black folk and some of the Mexicans who are the same way. So it's listen.
Okay.
I'm just saying, man. Listen. I get it. I'm the most melanin person, which is kind of sad, but
Facts.
so yeah. But we'll have the anime discussion at one point. I'd like to get someone else on for that, like someone who's like maybe a little younger than us who might understand anime from a different angle, because I think we'll just come at it from the same when I was growing up, you had to get VHSs from Blockbuster,
Back in
and then
my day.
yeah, so we'll if there's someone else out there younger, uh, and is of age, who wants to
Golly,
tell us
just you had
wants.
that last part.
Well, I mean, there's everything can be taken out of context. So I want to.
Invite
I'm
them
trying
over
to.
to your
I'm
house and
trying.
have one
I'm
on
trying
the
to.
podcast.
I'm trying to cover our bases here. All right. Because I don't understand that experience. What it is like to grow up with how anime is now. Because anime, even for us back when we were growing up, you were still like gonna get kicked in the face if you like Yu-Gi-Oh too much. You know what I mean?
See, oof, this is a topic I want to go into so bad, but we'll spend an hour on it.
Again, it's not on the list, and we stick to the list. All right. So next on the list, speaking of, and this will tie. These couple things will probably tie into our main topic. So we might put body cam on for next time. But yeah, listen, dude, we're old and it's getting late. So the PS6 release date has been put on hold or pushed back. The way you wrote it wasn't very clear, and it's just coming from the I'm guessing one of the head honchos up there.
Yeah, the
Oh,
CEO put out a statement that said, when asked, "Hey, when's the PS6 coming out?" He said basically he doesn't have a window or an idea when it's coming out because there's RAM shortages and they can't figure that out.
yeah, this will come up later, but I think to really just speak on a PS6 / maybe Xbox Helix, because Asha Sharma, beautiful Indian lady who now runs Xbox, she haven't even was saying a while ago that they might need to think of new ways to try to sell this system, this Xbox Helix, because it's like no one's paying $1,000 for a system. I mean, I know the PS5 Pro right now is like close to $1,000, and I don't know if anybody's bought that.
Yeah,
I know you bought one before it was that much, but it was still $700 something, which is crazy. But
yeah, it was 700 plus tax, and I got mine.
crazy. That's a crazy amount for a console. You bought it. I know you got FOMO like a homo, but jeez.
Yeah, especially the last
So
part.
yeah, definitely last part. But the the fact that these things are getting so expensive, and you know wages aren't going up that much, man.
No, they're not.
you know, so you know what I mean. I'm not all doom and gloom, but there's realities to this thing, and if I'm being honest, I can speak for myself. I really don't see the need for there to be a next console generation, because I don't think we've really tapped out the PS5 and the Xbox yet on what they can do. Like I can't think of a game out now that I'm like, oh my gosh, I needed the PS5 for this.
Have you
You know?
not seen the trailers for the Wolverine game coming out?
Well, we'll move to that, but it yeah,
Ghost
I
of
don't know.
Tsushima.
That was a
You
PS4 game.
sexist.
That
No, the new one. Ghost of some old guy.
I'm gonna stay away from that one.
Go,
uh,
Ghost of Utah. Come on.
yeah, well, a conversation for another day. I actually
I'm
think
giving you reasons to buy a PS5.
you haven't given me one yet. I mean, honestly, I'm thinking about all the games I have. A lot of them were like
Still a Blade.
I mean, you could still play a Nier if you're looking for a booty in your face for the whole
Resident
game.
Evil Requiem.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I understand. Like, I mean,
Aha.
I'm not saying like there aren't games or like that, but what I'm saying is like when I think about Resident Evil Requiem and all that, I still think like, do I need a better looking game than that? And how much better is it going to look really?
Well,
Because I
here's the
think,
thing.
go ahead,
Just real quick. Like, if it's a CEO or like Mark, let's just say Mark Cerny, because he's the one that actually makes the console.
makes
If
the
he
console
cannot,
decisions, makes the console
yes,
decisions.
if he can't come out and say, "Hey, this PS6 is going to run every single game day one, 4K 60 minimum," then really, what is the point of a next gen console? Like, why is there a PS6 that's going to cost $1,200 with taxes? why buy that if games cannot run 4K 60, you know, off the bat?
Well,
Why buy this thing?
I think that's more on like the developers. Like they can't make a game like that because even nowadays, if you want to run 4K 60 with a like without using AI to like upscale it, like you're looking at a pretty
Well,
expensive
guess
system.
what? We got a thing called a pisser for you, baby.
Well, that's the AI upscaling, and like it, and while they are looking pretty good, they're getting better. There's still that kind of
Yeah.
idea that like I'm not really getting 4K. And soon you might not really get 60 if they need to do frame generation to get things to to add fake frames to your system. People in the PC community they already know all this, and it's kind of been going on there for a long time too because they've had DLSS and frame generation for a long time now. Now it's kind of trickling down to the consoles, but there really doesn't seem to be like that big thing. And I know uh ray tracing and now path tracing are these big kind of like things that are do really make a difference on how your game looks as far as like the lighting and all that's concerned. But they're like there's no raw performance that's pushing graphics farther than they've ever been pushed because these jumps are getting smaller and smaller. I remember from the PS3 to the PS4 or that generation, because the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One, that especially towards we got to the end of the generation before is games like Uncharted 3 or you know Far Cry, the last Far Cry, and that generation.
Dude,
Those games
I
were still.
still can't believe The Last of Us Part 1 ran on a PS3 and my PS3 did not explode. It still blows my mind to this day.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like they really pushed the games to like such a high level. So when that next generation came out, it looked better, but it didn't look that much better. I remember watching like a fighting game come out or like whatever, and I was like, that looks good, but that doesn't look like. I remember looking at the Street Fighter Five from Street Fighter Four, and I remember thinking that doesn't look that much better than Street Fighter Four. Like Street Fighter Four, I think even had a better artistic style than Street Fighter Five. And
There,
then go ahead.
I just mean like there are certain games. There are a couple of games, just real quick though, I'm like, dude, how you got this to run on a PS4 Pro is beyond me. Like the God of War,
Last,
right? The
well,
Last of Us Part 2 ran
yeah.
on that thing. I don't know freaking what voodoo magic they did to run that thing on there, but I played that game all the way through on my PS4 Pro. It sounded like a jet engine, but it ran. And then God of War, the first Viking one, that ran on a PS4 Pro somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think towards the end of the generation, that's when you really saw the big difference between like PS3 and PS4. But it took like towards the end of the generation because those games came out like soon after on the PS5 and Xbox. Xbox, why did I say that word? But
But like
uh,
there were like even 3 years into the PS5's life cycle, and maybe you can argue four, there's really wasn't a game like they would say, "Oh, this game's exclusive on PS5 for whatever reason," but all you had to do was tone it down a tiny bit, and that thing would have perfectly ran perfectly fine on a PS4 Pro. Most games for 3 years at least into the PS5 life cycle.
yeah, it'd been like 1080 30, but it would have ran. I guess what I, what we're getting at is like the jump. Just they seem to get smaller and smaller, and and if I'm paying, $1,000 plus for a new system, I start to think
Yeah.
like, do I really need this? Do I really need to play Call of Duty with like the best reflections? Tell me, you know what I
If
mean?
you want to
Like,
win,
no, not even. Listen, even on PC, people play 1080, like 400 frames. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, no.
they don't care. So it's like there's even single player games. Like there's only so good you can make them. This is still on subject, but it's kind of like to prove my point. Um, in like I look at like videos of older games getting ray tracing and path tracing in, and it does make a huge difference. Don't get me wrong; it looks like a different generation game. But then I think, well, this is a PS3 game that they put ray tracing and path tracing in, and this like it looks like a brand spanking new game. It looks like it came out this year, or even a little bit better. Like Dark Souls 2 is probably the biggest jump I've ever seen from a game that put in that technology. But that's a PS3 game. That's an Xbox 360 game. And then so it's like, do the polygons not even really matter? Is it really only just this? And if that's the case, why do I have these unoptimized? And that's the biggest thing. These unoptimized games coming out on more powerful systems, but I'm not getting that jump that like you know I should be feeling. It doesn't make sense. It just like I'm about to sell on PS5. I have one. If you guys see it on Facebook Marketplace, let me know. But
Yeah, we'll get to it, but we'll get to it in our news. But Wolverine, I mean I'm gonna buy it day one.
let's just jump to Wolverine now. I think we said everything we could say. Let's just jump to Wolverine now.
Okay, well, because Wolverine's a game I'm gonna buy day one regardless. But that is a game that if you told me this was a you have to have a PS5 to play this game, it's got this and that and all the bells and whistles, and I'm like looking at this game, looking at the last trailer that they put out because it's the last one, so they can sell it to you in like 2 weeks when it comes out. I'm not that impressed. And it's a very sad thing to say because I am a Sony pony, and I love Insomniac, who did the three Spider-Man games. And I'm looking at this Wolverine game, and this is for me, right? I'm a Sony pony, but I'm like I'm not too excited to throw down $70 for this game, and it's not open world. They said it's only going to be like 12 to 15 hours long. It Mystique, obviously, I want to get political about it, but obviously a bunch of
No, we get political here. We do not shy away from that.
a bunch of DEI for hires obviously shoot that character. She looked fugly as hell. Like even in the photos where the like IGN took the still shots and they're trying to be like up res 4K, she still looks ugly. She has no waist, she has no breasts, and I'm not gooning to a video game character, but if you're gonna make me play, a long time in a game, can you not make some decent looking characters for me? Why is it that Japan and China are the only ones really making beautiful looking characters? And some reason,
Throw in Korea.
in Korea, yes,
They made
Korea's doing a
Cellblade.
very good job. Yeah, the First Descendant. Every female character in that game, even the men, look amazing. Especially the females. They all have waists, they all have breasts, they look beautiful in the face. And if I'm going to spend 100 hours in a game, I don't need to play as a warlock. I don't want to play as a butch lesbian. I'm sorry. I'm not against any of that stuff. If you want to be that way, be that way. But I don't want to play as a character like that.
Way to cover your tracks on that one. You covered your tracks really well. I think nobody else will notice what you said. Good job. Good job.
Yes. There's just a lot of weird things in this game. It looks very handholdy. There's the whole thing where Wolverine has this blood scent, and he's got to follow this blood trail to find this bad guy, and it's very handholdy. It's there's a lot of weird like stuff going on with. I like the actor playing the character, but a huge issue that we've ran into with making games is they're trying to model these characters off of real people, but when you do that, it like messes with things. You know what I mean? Like the suit looks weird on them. It doesn't look natural on them.
Oh,
Like,
Brian, if I may interject, I hear all my talking points from the last 10 years coming through those vocal cords. It makes my heart sing because we've had wars over this, but now you are starting to see the light.
well, I once was lost, Aaron, but now I've been found, my brother.
And you can feel the truth coming at you.
I can see, Aaron. I can see.
You can see now. Yeah, dude, this is like it's funny. This is something I've been saying for a long time now. I'm I do get tired of watching just like people play cosplay digitally. The costumes never feel right, and you can never look as realistic as a regular human. Even movies with all the budgets and all the like rendering still can't do it quite right. So a video game ain't gonna be doing it for a long time. So it's a bad idea just to take a person's face, throw it on a CG body that's not that good in comparison, and it's like, hey, that's real, right? It's like you gotta do something to them to make them look not like the guy or the gal. You gotta make them, for one, look better. You gotta make them look hyper good, hyper more stylized, just that little bit extra to make them look. If you're doing comic book, obviously, if you're doing like a Call of Duty or whatever, you're kind of, there's it's just the the essence is to look like regular real life, so that makes a little more sense. But the people who I think do it the best is Capcom, because they do take people and they put them in their games, but they just tweak them just enough to make them look like the person, but like a little different. So there's just that little extra, I call it animification on it, to kind of give him, like, even like Leon. There, people were talking about how hot Leon was when he came out. I wasn't.
Leon,
I'm not saying I was. I'm not saying I was. I'm saying people
help
were.
me, Leon.
Help, Leon. Um, uh, but like for Requiem, but because if you look at him, and you look at the guy who plays him. The guy who plays him is a good looking dude, no homo. But Leon,
Oh,
like the way they stylized him, he looks even just like that. He's turned up to 11. Just that
yeah.
little extra thing they do. So I think that's a way to do it if you're gonna do it, especially for like a fictional world. But anyway, we got off the track. I guess what we're trying to say is like this Wolverine game does that. Oh, that rhymed too. This Wolverine game just doesn't hit the way you think it should hit. And now you're thinking, okay, I got a PS5 and I got a PS5 for this.
Well, also they showed off like one of the boss fights with Sentinel. So it's basically Sentinel's waist up, and you're fighting him in this warehouse, and his arms are coming around swinging, and then you're dodging, and somebody off the God bless some nerd off the internet took it was like a PS2 game and compared it, and it was I don't know what game it was from, but if you go on the internet you can find it. It's very easy. But they
Probably like
took
an
the
X-Men
same,
Legends or something like that.
yeah, something like that, and it's the same exact boss fight basically to a T. And it's like, what are we doing? I expect better, because this is Insomniac, they're one of PlayStation's best developers. Oh, I'm sorry, studios. And dude, the three Spider-Man games are so freaking good, but for some reason they just can't stick the landing to this Wolverine game. And they better be lucky it's physical, because I would not be buying it for $70. I tell you what, Aaron. I tell you.
We'll get to that. I think also too, you were talking about the on rails, like people have been clowning on this game, and it actually shocked me, because I thought
That's my biggest issue with this game, by the way. I'm sorry to cut you off.
no, it's okay. No, state your case, sir. State your case.
It's just seeing how open and free the three Spider-Man games were, and seeing how on rails this is. It bothers me, because Logan has a bike. He rides a bike, right? Like in the comics, in the show, they could have made this game open world and had him ride his bike everywhere. You know, I don't get it. It kind of pisses me off, and they want to charge $70 for it.
I guess I don't have that problem with the linearity of a game in general. I think it's how you do it and how it makes you feel. Um, because the clown that people did is like, they did that thing where they put the little like coins in front of him, and it looks like it feels
Dude,
like it just feels on rails.
hey, real quick on that,
Go ahead.
just real quick. Prior to had seeing that, I kind of stayed away from everything because I didn't want the game to be spoiled. But I thought that was actually in the game, because I kept seeing so many people post it, and I'm like, there's no holy way in hell that he's actually going to catch these freaking coins like a Crash Bandicoot. So I had to watch the trailer, and I was like, oh no, it's the red mist. Somebody just put the coins. Sorry though, I had to bring that up.
No, it's cool, man. I was waiting for you to bring that up too, because because when you told it to me, I was like, did they get him? Did they get Brian? Brian's not an idiot, but I mean, any of us
Dude,
can
so
get
many
got.
people were posting it. I was like, I had to go watch the trailer. I was like, there's no way that we're catching coins as Wolverine for his currency to get a new suit or something.
No, but I think it's not. I think it's not just the fact that it's linear. I think it's linear done poorly. because you told
Yeah.
me to say this before. They should have made this like a Ninja Gaiden or a Devil May Cry. Like that's the philosophy they should have been behind this game. Because those games are also linear, but they kind of have like a way in which the world is designed to where you can, especially the first Ninja Gaiden and Devil May Cry, like maybe 4 or 3. It has like this kind of more tucked away. You got to find this thing to go to get this thing to do that thing or whatever, and it kind of makes you feel like you're kind of weaving in and out of the level instead of just going straight or down a corridor.
Also, it when I the first trailer that they put out, it's weird because Wolverine's always been a hack and slash kind of guy, and he can regenerate. It's kind of weird seeing him be stealthy. So a lot of the missions that they showed off in the beginning, it was just him being stealthy, like in a warehouse, like picking off dudes one by one. Now I get why Spider-Man would do that. It makes more sense for me why Spider-Man would pick off dudes one on one, but it doesn't really make sense to me that Wolverine's just like sneaking around, trying to be quiet, and then stabbing a guy in the neck, and then when his whole thing is that he can regenerate.
Yeah, it's kind of like the philosophy of the developers don't match the type of character that Wolverine is, and you're kind of putting a square peg into a round hole, and you're just grinding away at it. It ain't fitting in right. Maybe you should have taken her on the date because now you're not kind of meshing well like you used to. And you
Oh
thought they were cute before. What? Oh, hold on. This got off. My bad. I'm so sorry.
man, that's
Forgive me.
crazy.
Yeah, forgive me. Yeah, no, I just think I actually just don't think they're the right developer. They probably should have given this to Tecmo Koei, if I'm being honest. Like if they were trying to like make a really cool Wolverine game, or giving it to or like giving
Ninja
it to
Theory.
have, yeah, even Ninja Theory. Well, I mean that's Xbox, so they're not gonna.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, yeah. But like one of those kind of developers would have been a better fit for the Wolverine. And you know, it's we're gonna get to. I think the reason it's getting the backlash it is because there is overall backlash against Sony. But we'll build up to that because we're gonna go into the next game that came out. That's
Suspense
also
is killing
suffering.
me.
Well, that's also suffering from the Sony situation. GTA has some leaks. I'm
Oof.
sure everybody knows about them. I'm sure everybody's seen them. We're definitely not breaking news over here. But there's a whole thing going on with that, man. How much of it do you know? Because I've actually saw Tyrone Magnusites, 10 million subscribers. I saw him break down a couple of news bits from it. Uh, but like, how much of it are you aware of?
Yeah. The guy that leads this, by the way, he's just known in the industry for leaking stuff. So this guy must be getting builds to these games, or something is up.
I
Like
hear he's
the amount of stuff that he has.
from what I understand, he's like a not Bitcoin, but like a digital currency guy,
Oh, okay.
and he has a lot of money. I think he just pays for leaks.
Well,
That's what
okay.
I kind of got from the information I was seeing. But
All
go
right.
ahead.
But yeah, he leaked like several 20-minute clips of this, and apparently he has like the entire ending of the game because he came out the other day, it might have been yesterday actually, and said that if Rockstar tries to sue him, then he's just going to put the entire game out, like the entire story of the game he's just going to put out. I'm like, wow, because according to insiders, this game is like 60 hours long, just the story. So if he has all that, yeah, somebody's leaking some stuff. My biggest takeaway from this game is, now listen, there's people arguing that this could be an old build. I don't know. We'll find out on Thursday when Rockstar actually puts this out on Netflix. But from what I saw, and I said this to you, in this game, it looks like it feels like GTA 5. And that's not good. Because GTA 5 came out on the PS3. And what I mean by that is like the cars, when he's driving around in the El Camino, he's like, it looks like the car's skating around, which has always been my biggest issue with the Rockstar games, is that they don't feel good to play, in my opinion. Like the cars, just when you make a turn, they feel like they're on ice and they just make this crazy like 180 all the time. And when he was like beating up a cop or something, and he had the bat, and it looked like the same type of animation and the same type of weird arcadiness that doesn't feel good. And if that's this game, I mean, people won't care because the people who like this game, they're gonna get it regardless. But that's very, very sad that this game is 2 generations old, and it still has that same feel of GTA 5. And it's like they don't care to make the driving better or the combat better or the shooting better. All they care about is like how good can we make the game look. Like when you're driving in the car and you can see your reflection in the rearview mirror, that's cool. But if what I'm doing for 100 hours in this game isn't fun to do or plays like shit, then what does all the extra stuff matter? It's my argument with Crimson Desert. It's like you spent
Dang, catching strays, Crimson Desert. Golly, I would say Crimson Desert probably plays better than any of the GTA games.
oof, oof. The combat in Crimson Desert. I mean, it might be better now because they've patched that game like 15 times since I've beaten it, but it kind of had the same ish weird feeling to it. I mean, it's a little better, but I digress. What I mean is the Rockstar games, and again, Crimson Desert did this, is that they put too much time in stuff that doesn't necessarily matter. Like, I'll give you an
I
example
mean,
here.
well, go ahead, and I'll cut in
Well,
later.
like, let's just say like Red Dead 2. Let's say you're at your camp and you park your horse like right in front of the stew that's being cooked over the fire, and the horse poops in that stew. The people in like real time, as they're dishing it out and eating it, will get sick and throw up. Now that's a cool feature, right? It's pretty realistic. It's pretty funny. But like, if my overall thing that I'm doing was just like shooting guns and doing hand to hand combat, that's not fun. Or if that's not tight, and a game that's over 100 hours long, what's all that stuff really even matter at the end of the day?
Yeah, what I was gonna say is that I think they're really intent on world building and making like a cohesive ecosystem, and you doing stuff in that thing, and like all that kind of stuff. And I understand that, but I do agree with you that Grand Theft Auto controls and game feel has never been good. Like I've never had a lot of fun like driving around their cars that you know that play like shit. Their combat that hand to hand. I know it's not what it's about, but like I mean, it's some of the worst in the industry. And like the gunplay is like mediocre. I would say at best. There's it does everything like kind of okay in one game, and then it gives you like this world that's like, oh my gosh, you can do this and that, run over a hooker and get your money back and all that kind of stuff. But unless you're engrossed in the world, you're really kind of just left with this kind of this mediocre playing game, like what you do in it. So I echo you on that, and I've never been like, again, I think I said this last week. I've never been a GTA guy. I know 3 was like, back in the day was like the big thing, and then San Andreas and all that kind of stuff. And then 4, my Nico, my cousin. But like,
Nico Bellic.
yeah. But I just yeah, it's not a game I'm particularly. It's not a franchise I'm particularly fond of, and it looks like what's going on with the leaks and all that is just a sign of like there's this kind of in the video game industry there's this sign of like we're kind of getting to like this precipice of like a breaking point, and everything's kind of culminating into like this one big thing that will maybe happen in the future, and I really don't know how it's going to swing. I mean, most people are saying like, it's not going to mean anything, and some people are saying it's going to be the end of video games as we know it. But we'll get to it. But I do think these games are getting a lot of backlash from that, and the idea that this leaks are coming for a specific reason. Like these leaks aren't out because some guy just wanted to leak stuff. These leaks are out because there's a lot of turmoil in the gaming industry. But before that, we got one more game to talk about, a game from China, China. Uh, that Brian was all about. Uh, and we also got a big hoopla about the whole thing. We might get a big hoopla about it now before we get into our main topic. And I've been waiting to talk about this, but the Phantom of Blades that are zero had a state of play and all that. I saw that. I didn't see the state of play because this game isn't really my cup of tea. Mostly because that tea's made in China. Um,
It's prejudiced, racist son of a bitch.
I can't be. I'm not white. Um, but you're about this game. I'll just say my piece real quick before you go into your, I'm an idiot for not liking it. The first thing I saw about this game made me really feel that it's a lot more flash than substance. Like speaking about being on rails, like for one, it's like nothing but cutscene in the beginning, and then you're doing just like you're on a horse and just doing the blocking thing, and it just felt on rails, and it just feels like I don't know. It just feels like a game that just is wants to look cool rather than actually be cool to play. And that's my overall thoughts. It looks like it wants to be cool versus actually playing very well. But go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, like I know you won't watch it because you don't care about the Chinese, but
No. The CCP. I don't care about the CCP.
NAACP. Um, they put out a state of play this past Monday and showing off because like what you saw was a story trailer. It's basically what you saw. But what Sony put out last Monday was the actual state of play, showing off like the regions, the weapons, secret boss fights, how bosses will play, how your combat's gonna play into that, how the weapons are. And this game looks, I hate to say it because it's a China game, but the game looks freaking badass. Like I cannot wait to. I'm playing this day one 100%. Um, they've came out and said a lot of stuff. Like it's not an open world game. They said it's not strictly linear either. There's these different regions, and there's these. It's weird how the map is. Like when you open the map, it's like hand drawn, and certain parts are not there because they want you to explore and find hidden bosses. And apparently, like one of the bosses, they showed off the entire boss fight. By the way, it's pretty crazy. Um, apparently it's definitely not on rails at all. By the way, and apparently the bosses will learn from your like they won't. It's weird how they worded this. They won't adapt to how you're fighting them, but they will adapt to like mistakes you're making and counterattack those. It was like very weird how they phrased it. But basically, they're gonna have
They'll learn how to punish your mistakes better. Is basically what you're saying.
yeah,
Like in a fighting game, yeah.
like looks like a pretty unique AI system they have set up for these bosses. Um, yeah, there are 55 different weapons. I'm looking at it now. There's a lot of different classes, and apparently they're doing this thing where, like, let's say you have dual swords, and let's say you've put like 10 skill points in these swords, and you get to a different region where it's like, man, the way that these swords are playing, it's not working out for this region. These characters are playing different than the last region I was in. You can take all those and then put it into like maybe a staff instead, and you can keep adding points. So like
Yeah.
just because you pick points in one combat style doesn't mean you lost them. You can just transfer them over to like a different um, sword style, like a bow or
Yeah, if I may, just to kind of interject and kind of get to the root of my problem with the CCP, the Zero Phantoms. Um, I I had this kind of thing with Wukong as well, because I didn't buy Wukong, but I've seen like reviews about it, and it just seems like Chinese games in general. This is something about Chinese games and Chinese anime. They're more about like flash than substance. So things will look cool, but they won't like have the tactile feeling of like I won't say proper, but of a maybe Japanese or Korean style action game. They don't really like because even Stellar Blade, they kind of figured out how to do that kind of hits done well and boss fights and all that. But like a game like Wukong really didn't quite hit that well. It didn't have like and even the other game,
I
the
heard that
Lost
game is
Soul.
really good.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm talking about. I guess for people in my circle of action, character action style games,
Well, let's
or
see what it
soul
has
like
on
games.
Metacritic.
No. Listen, I understand. Don't get me wrong. Like a Metacritic score is one thing, but like we're talking about the culture, Brian. We're a culture podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just something about them that like they don't quite get that feeling down. So
Interesting.
yeah. So like even like a game like a First Berserker Kazan, which is a Korean game, it has that tactile feel that really comes through. Sailor Blade's also one of them. Another one. I'm trying to think of another one that would like like a Ninja Gaiden, a Devil May Cry, or even like a they have.
There
There's
is a
just a way,
lot of bosses in this game. Like
right?
from
But
what I've gathered, it's like it kind of does look a lot like Wukong. Well, you'll probably play the game for like 10 minutes, boss, 15 minutes, boss, 10 minutes, boss. Kind of thing.
yeah, that kind of sounds like a fundamental misunderstanding of what it means to have a boss in a game. Like you go through a level and it's building up to this crescendo, which is the boss. So it seems to kind of favor what I'm thinking, which is like it's more of like a frills and style and not a lot of substance. We'll
I
see. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just saying that's the sense I get from the game.
I kind of feel like these Chinese developers they kind of want like their own version of Dark Souls. Like they want all these games to be like, this is our Dark Souls, but they don't really know how to fully tap into that.
Yeah, but I think it's because they want to look cool.
It
And
does
Dark
look
Souls,
cool. I can watch that state of play, and it looks really flashy and cool, for sure.
right? But what you give up in flash and coolness, sometimes you give up uh, the the tactile feeling that I'm talking about. It's hard to explain because it's a game feel thing, but there is like there's something to say about where like your moves and everything you do looks cool but it doesn't feel cool. That's the best way I can explain it. But let's get into the thing that makes you pissed off at me. Why I won't buy it. You want to get into that real quick? You ready to lose our friendship?
I mean, I've dwelled on it. I'm not. I mean, we can talk about it.
Have you forgiven me?
No, I don't hold on. I'm a man. I don't hold on to no grudges like a woman.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, I refuse to give any Chinese media thing if I can help it. Any Chinese it, game or whatever movie or whatever my money. So even if the game was amazing, I wouldn't buy it because I think when you do that, you're essentially giving money to the Communist Party, the yeah of China, and someone could correct me if I'm wrong here. As far as I understand, since they're a communist country,
Yeah,
the
and
the
I
means
think
of the means of production are owned by the party there. So they whatever money you give them, it directly goes into their bank account essentially. And everybody has like their line of what they want to do. I understand most of my stuff is made in China. I can't really escape it, but I do when I can.
so.
I
Is
try.
that true though? Like, so if I buy this game when it comes out in October, the developers they just give the money to their government.
No, it's not that simple. It's more like any company that's a Chinese company because they're a socialist communist party. They own that they own the means of production of that company. So they're not totally private. It'd be like if like the United States owned I don't know Nike, and anytime you buy a Nike product, a bit of that money would go back to the United States government.
Those
So
shoes are made in China.
well, yeah, funny enough. But you know what I mean? Like you're kind of knowingly giving your money to them, and you're allowing their media in to cross over to our country, and they don't allow a lot of our media into
I don't
their
think not at
country.
all. No,
Yeah, I mean they only let like
no, they
five
have their
movies a
own.
year
They have
in
their own
America.
phones.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
Huey or something like that. They have
Huawei,
their own
yeah,
phone.
yeah, yeah.
Where
They tried to come
everybody
in.
in that country has to be on that Wi-Fi, so they can monitor what you're doing at all times.
Well, I mean that's what I'm saying though. Like that's like I don't want to. I like I
And
you know. I don't.
My
Hold on, real
my
quick. If I could articulate this real quick, the people who work and work hard and do their thing, I have nothing but love for those kind of people. For those people, I know they're just trying to do their job and everything like that. What I'm talking about is the government that I have a big problem with. Who and I'm pretty sure they're listening on this conversation. Uh, I have a big problem with, and I will like refuse if I can, every way possible, to give them my money. So that's all I'm trying to say.
yeah, I don't know. Like on one hand, I do agree with you. On the other hand, I think our government's such a piece of shit that they know everything that you're doing. They know everything you're doing. They know what's in your bank account. They know they're tapped into your phone at all times. They're listening. They're always out to kill you.
You
They're
listen to this
pitting.
podcast.
Yeah, they have. I promise you, they have an AI algorithm that goes through every podcast out there in case you say something crazy. But like, they're always trying to kill you in any way that they can. Um, I can get. I don't want to. I don't really want to get into that, but I just think both governments are such huge pieces of shit that at least with one, I'm getting fun out of it. I know it's not right. I know it's probably not right to give them money. Um, but at the same time, it's like, well, the U.S. government's one of the most corrupt pieces of shit governments out, going on today. So
Calm down, you commie socialist bitch. Fuck out of here on this podcast. This podcast will not stand for that. And I won't stand for that. I'll stand for Zack Snyder, but I
I didn't
won't
say this
stand for
country. I
that.
just said the government.
Well, I'm just playing. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I think the distinction I make is
Go
that,
ahead, make
yeah, I'll make the distinction. I know what that word means. Um,
it.
um, I mean, like any company there is entwined in the government. But any company here, or maybe in Japan or wherever, I don't know. I don't know if this is true, but definitely for here, isn't necessarily a government-owned company. So if I give my money to an American company here, I'm um, I'm not necessarily giving my money to the American government or whatever party I like or don't like. You know what I'm saying? But by necessity of the way that uh, business is done in China, any company I give my money to,
China.
China, I give my money to the Chinese government. You know what I mean? So like I can't not like I have no
Well,
way of not buying a Chinese game unless I'm gonna be a
uh, okay.
I'm
So
not I can't,
how do you kind of argument like most of everything that we own is made in China? These earphones I just bought today, that were like $5, made in China. This phone, probably made in China. This mic that I'm using, probably made in China. So like, how do you differentiate? Like, you won't buy a game made by a Chinese company, but you'll buy something that's in America made in China.
Yeah, that is a good point. And I think where it really comes down to is what is feasible versus what isn't feasible, and where can I take a stand versus where I can't. Like if I take a stand on the video game front, I might be able to, at least say, hey, I didn't get like when it comes out that there's spyware and all the and all the programs we downloaded
Uh-oh.
and we had to agree to whatever anything that we didn't really read and all that when we play the game or whatever. At
Could you
least I could say,
imagine
oh, I
if I
mean,
started playing like Phantom Blade, and then like, like an hour after I download the game, I get a text that says, "Thanks for joining the CCPV."
yeah, I mean something like that.
Oh my
But you know what I'm
god!
saying? Like I could make a
Aaron's like, "Don't
stand
say I
there.
didn't warn you."
Well, I'm saying that there I can make some sort of stand. I can speak with my wallet, and I can say, I didn't involve myself in that. I didn't buy any of their movies. I didn't buy any of their games. I didn't have like because like I mean anything you buy from them, there's gonna be some sort of propaganda in there that you might not be aware of because it's kind of mandated in their how I put this, and like anything they make has to have some sort of propaganda for the CCP, and it might be very very subtle, but it'll be there if you look for it. You'll find it. If
Yeah.
you're a hammer, you'll find that nail. Let's put it that way. So you know what I mean. So I can't I can't in good conscience do that. Now, if I buy like a pair of headphones or whatever, you know, I mean,
Now that's where he draws the
it
line.
is it like is it feasible to go find like a non-American like Chinese brand or made in China some part maybe like let's say
You can find it here in America, but it's going to cost you 10 times more.
well, not only that, it's going to be harder to find, but also, yeah, was it made in America? Sure, but was all the parts sourced from
Made in
America?
America by China.
Yeah, like were the parts sourced in America or was it assembled in America? You know what I mean? Like where are they getting all this stuff from? So it's hard. Like for me, that's not necessarily like a way I can actually do something
Here's
do
what's
something
weird.
about it. Go
I
ahead.
had a guy kind of explain this, but I'll just go real quick. He's like, yeah, he's like a undercover like officer guy, and he's like, yeah, we stopped a sweatshop, in downtown, and they were making stuff. They were making clothes that said, it's made in America, but it was by Chinese people that were illegally shipped here to make them in this underground sweatshop kind of thing. So
Yeah,
it's
see,
like,
do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's like, I have no feasible way of like fighting back against that. I could try, but like, I would, and
in video games is where you put your stand.
well, I mean, you got like, I think everybody has to make a personal choice of where their line is. Everybody has a line about something. You know what I mean? If you like, and if you could do
But
something
you
about
watch
it,
Chinese movies though, like kung fu movies.
not modern ones. No,
Isn't
I might watch old ones, but like, I
I'm
mean,
I'm gonna
those
sound
those are.
racist, but isn't is Jet Li Chinese? I don't know.
Yeah, he is. He is. He is.
Jet
But
Li rules.
yeah. Well, I mean, like again, I
Is
think
Donnie Yen?
yeah, Donnie Yen. Yeah, he's Chinese. Isn't he in the Phantom Zero game?
Yeah, he's like the main bad guy, and he's also the blind dude in John Wick.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a difference between like an actor
Nah,
or
that's where we get him the acting.
no. I love Jackie Chan. I watch Jackie Chan movies.
Oh,
Like I
he is
understand all.
Chinese. Yeah, dude, I don't fuck, dude. Fuck, I'm white. I'm a Gaijin. I'm
You
a
know what's
Gaijin.
funny? Oh yeah, a what?
A Gaijin.
A
It's
gaijin is that's
like a white
Japanese.
ops.
Yeah, but that's Japanese. You're still.
Well, what's the white word of what's
You are the most. Oh,
Ching ching chong
you
ching
know what's
chong.
funny? You know what? There's two types of Chinese. There's two types of Asian races. There's the Asian races who can't. Well done. There's the one who can't tell them apart, and then there's the one who like knows them so well he can't tell them apart. I don't know which one's worse, but I know which one you are.
I think Aaron's turning Chinese. I think Aaron's turning Chinese. I really think so.
It's turning Japanese up. You can't even get the damn song right.
No, I know it's being stupid.
Of
So
course, yeah.
you won't
Good
play
save.
the Phantom Blades, but you'll watch Rumble in the Bronx. Okay, that's
It's
fucking
on
what
you.
it
It's
is.
on
This
YouTube
guy,
for free. Okay, I don't know what you want from me.
turncoat.
There we go. Buy the game. Shut up. Day one. This guy says. By the way, this is
So
not how the
because I bought
hold
Rumble
on,
in the
hold
Bronx,
on,
does that
hold
mean
on,
I
hold on.
supported the Chinese government?
I don't know, maybe. Hold on though, real quick.
Damn.
Oh, actually, I think no. I think the people buy the rights to ship them to America. They pay the Chinese, but if I pay them, I haven't paid them for paying the Chinese. I've paid them.
Don't
So
you
I
understand the
think.
words that come out of my mouth?
uh, I love that movie. There was a bet.
That movie rules.
It was a better world then. You could be racist and
True.
still love somebody.
True story.
And the whites were bad in that movie too. Think about it, there's no good white in that movie.
Oh, the white man's bad in those movies. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, no one of them
So
pale
Rumble in the Bronx
skinned
too. There's not a
devils.
good white person in that movie either.
Huh?
If you watch Rumble in the Bronx, there's not a good white person in that movie. They're all pieces of shit.
Yeah, but Benny the Jet is a sick fighter, so he's sick in that movie. But anyways, get back to the Phantom Blade and whatever, real quick because I know we're going on. Oh my god, it's already been over an hour and 20 minutes. Golly,
Oh, it goes by quick, brother.
yeah. Well, don't worry, the main topic won't be that long either. But well, maybe. But this, real quick, this is not how this conversation went. This is not how this conversation went. When I said this the first time, this dude got so mad at me. This dude got so mad at me, cursed me out.
Kind of in the mood already. So I apologize.
Get off your period.
Yeah, there's a lot of cussing involved, a lot of pieces of shit involved. But
a lot of
I wouldn't.
involved.
Like at the end of the day, I wouldn't like mad at you. I was already in a weird mood.
Yeah, well, don't take your bitch out on me. Goddamn. I'm
Oh,
just playing. I'm just thinking. I just think it's funny how like cordial this is and how awful the last
of course,
conversation
this is
was.
a professional podcast. Now the day will come where I'll fucking say push that shit aside, and we'll go at each other's throats over the internet. But
And we might now, because let's get into Brian the dun 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 dun
oh, I
dun dun
can't
dun
wait.
dun, dun the main topic. I think that should be. I think we should leave that in. And anytime we go to the main topic, I'll sing that. What do you think?
I'm not editing this thing, so yeah,
Oh
let's
no,
just
I
leave
know.
it
I'm
in.
just saying, like we should make that the thing.
Oh, the
Like when we go
jingle.
to the main, yeah, like a little intro for the main topic. I'll do that every time. What do you think?
Okay.
You down? Yeah, the main topic. Yeah, something like that. We'll get it down eventually. How you doing, dog? I got my
All
dog.
right.
Hello, dog.
Explain
Hello,
to the
dog.
fine people, Aaron, why you think what Sony's
Listen,
doing is
listen. Well, real quick about
bad.
the Phantom Blade thing before we get to the main topic. During that whole, and this is going to lead into the main topic right now. During that whole state of play, from what I understand, the comments were saying no disc,
Dude,
no buy. Is
it's
that
been
true?
absolutely insane because ever since Sony had came out and said they're stopping all physical media in 2028, every single comment on any, because I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, everywhere. Doesn't matter what they do, what they post. Every single comment is no physical, no buy. Save the disc.
Yeah.
Well,
So this okay. So
those people are full of shit, though.
well, I'm one of those people. So
I'm not
so
saying they don't exist. I'm just saying most of them are full of shit.
most of them, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Because there is definitely a backlash. Oh, baby, there's a backlash going down right now against Sony. And the last couple of games we talked about has affected all of them. And it is the fact that, yeah, no discs in 2028. Now, I have my arguments laid out. I got a notepad right here, and I got three arguments that I think makes this thing complete bullshit. Well, the last one is a little bit more about
Uh,
the broader uh, 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 consumer rights, and not necessarily about the disc, but it is involved, and I think it's probably the more deeper thing we probably should talk about. But I do think that like there's like there's three levels to this. But I'll let you go first and say what you think about it, and please like yeah, just what do you like? What do you think? Like, where do you
so
stand? Because I don't ever want to misrepresent you. The floor is
right,
yours. You got 20 minutes opening. Well,
20
5 minutes
minutes
for
opening.
rebuttal. Well, a
Well,
5 minute
we're not
rebuttal, and then a
necessarily. I mean, we will fight it. We will fight it. We'll probably argue a little bit on this, but first and foremost, I don't think I. It would be very sad to me, even though I don't really buy physical media anymore. The last thing I bought physically is the movie Obsession, and the only reason I bought that physically is because I was gonna buy it digitally, but I saw that it was like $5 more just to get the 4K, so I went ahead and did that, and I have a digital code. Um, I'll be on the record in saying it would be very sad if one day, bam, poof, no more physical content ever across the board for video games, movies, music, whatever it may be. That would be sad. Even though I don't really purchase it personally, I get everything digitally. Just because it saves space and time, I can just go right there and boom, like on my PS5, and it's right there. I don't got to put a disc in because I'm a lazy sack of shit. Um, but I I don't really see it as too big of a deal because everything's been slowly going that way anyways, as digitally. Like they don't even make every movie physical anymore. I do see I know some of the points you'll bring up. I do see those points where, yeah, what if one day I want to go watch Rocky 4, right? But oh, my digital copy that I bought is taken off iTunes. Apple took it off for some reason. Now I can't watch it, even though I paid my money for that. I didn't own it, and that's like your big argument, and I completely understand that because if I were to go on here one day and try to play a game that I spent $70 on, or maybe I got the deluxe edition, I pay $100 for it, I'd be pissed. So we are kind of on the same page when it comes to that. I just, again, at the end of the day, like even though I would be mad, I don't really go back and play games as much anymore. I still like digital stuff. Um, I know Xbox has been doing Game Pass for a long, long time now, and Game Pass is 100% digital. Like there is no physical when it comes to Game Pass. So like you pay your $20 or whatever it is a month, and you get pretty much every first party game or first, second, third party game exclusives. Sorry, day one digitally, and you know if they would have, let's say Xbox is like, hey, we're taking Gears of War away for whatever reason. You can't play Gears of War anymore. Yeah, that would suck because you can't go play Gears of War anymore. But there was no way for you to get that physically, kind of technically, anyways, because you were getting it through their paid subscription service. So, it's like I don't, yeah, I don't really see like the big issue as far as that goes. PS Plus is the same thing. When I'm paying for, I'm paying like $16 a month for the second tier, and if they take a game off there, I mean, I'm paying $16 a month. I didn't technically buy that game, so is it really that big of a deal? Because just for Xbox, that's in my opinion really the only reason to have an Xbox in 2026. Take a shot is to have Game Pass because you're saving money. You're getting every exclusive for free. You're getting most third-party games for free, and you're paying like $22 a month for it. Now, if they take one of those games off, you can't play it anymore. Is it really that big of a deal? Because you only pay $22 a month for it. Now, I understand on Sony's end, if I paid $70 for a game and they took it off, yeah, I'd be pissed. But when it comes to the Game Pass argument for digital stuff, I don't, I don't know what the argument would be there. Now, I've been buying a lot of my movies for the past few years off of iTunes. Then I sync it to Movies Anywhere, and that you have Movies Anywhere. So anything you buy from any app, basically like Amazon, iTunes, wherever you can buy movies, goes to that app. It just syncs there. Let's say Movies Anywhere or iTunes, whatever, takes off my movie. Yeah, I'd be pissed. I couldn't watch the movie ever again. That'd be pretty messed up. I've been talking for a while. You can go ahead and talk.
Brian, I want you to get out every argument. If you got something, everything you have to say. I want it to be said. I want it on the record. I don't want to speak for you or speak against something that you're not trying to say. Is that all? Before I go, is that all, or is there something else you want to get it off your chest? Is there anything else?
I mean, that's pretty much all I got right now. And if you bring something up that I'll probably, I should have brought that up. Kind of argument, kind of thing.
All right, fair enough. Let it be said that I gave him the opportunity to
You piece
explain
of shit.
himself. I gave him the time. I did not interrupt him like I normally do. All
Oh
right.
Lord.
I did what I did what I said I would do. I would let him have the floor
Save the disc.
to speak his heart, And the
My
man
heart
did.
of hearts.
His heartless heart that speaks to the evil, ladies and gentlemen, the evil that is Sony's future. Let me explain, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, let me explain why this is total and utter horseshit. I have three main arguments, and I will go through them thusly. And every argument, I believe, goes deeper to the actual problem that exists in not only video game media, but all media today. So I think the first layer to this really is just the fact that are you going to interrupt me now, son of a bitch?
I was just gonna say, let it be
Go
known
ahead.
that this dude hasn't bought anything physical in forever, and he does own a PC, which is Steam, which is only digital, by the way.
I
Oh, but
have
I can put it on a USB drive. Shut up. Nobody does that. Steam's all digital. But go ahead.
okay. Well, also let me know that he interrupted me. when I interrupt him. There's a mute button. How about you go ahead and hit that for me real quick? How about you go ahead and tap that little button right there so I don't have to hear that snotty voice anymore. Good. Anyways, so I think the first, probably the most practical way for people who are just, thinking about it really is like, even if it's a minority of people, which I'll even grant for the sake of argument, that people do like still buy physical media as even a collector's item. Every form of media that exists now, whether it be reading, whether it be movies, music, and all that, there's still some sort of physical option for them. And if when Sony makes this move, it's going to push all the other companies to go pure digital too. And it's a sea change that is a forced sea change because no one was asking for a pure digital gaming economy. That was never in the cards. It might be that it might become the minority opinion, but it was never in the cards to be the only option. So I think that is going against what the consumers, even if people who buy, Brian even said he doesn't, he buys mostly digital, but he didn't want to see it go away either. It wasn't like something, it wasn't an either or. It was, it could be a both and even if they had to size down production and all that kind of stuff to save money, they could have done that. But this is just seen as a calculated move to just make as much money as possible because they see the future and they want to make the profits and they need to look good to their shareholders and all that. And I understand all that because you have to grow continuously and to show your to show the people who invest money into you that their money is being used well and all that. I get that. I understand all that, but we're talking about the consumer's point of view right now. And from the consumer's point of view, that's total horseshit. And I think that's where most people are at. They want to have their physical game. They want to have it in their hands, And even if they buy one game a year. And by the way, I do buy physical games. I have a local shop that's not a GameStop that I buy games from, and those guys are cool. And I buy games from that are like older games, but I still have a Wii, I still have a PS2, and I do buy older games. So, haha, Brian, shut up. So there's that, and it's mostly for collecting. I just put it on my shelf or put it in my drawer, and I look at them, and I pat them on the spine. I say I love you, and I go to bed and remind myself I don't have anybody I love in life, and it's great. I have a dog, that's cool. But anyways,
is he physical?
I think that's layer one, and I think that's where most people would just kind of stop and think at. But I think the bigger problem here is that the layer deeper than that is the monopoly layer, and this is actually why they're getting sued by a couple different countries and like Stop Killing Games and all that. But effectively, if Sony goes pure digital, they control the price and they do control how long you get to keep the game, because it's a digital. You're buying a digital right, and the argument against that is one: when you have physical media, it is a counterbalance to the price that you pay digitally. Brian even said when he was talking about what he bought, the last movie he bought, he saw it online for a certain price, but for just $5 more, he could actually own the disc. Usually what happens is at a physical game store, the price goes down. So or someone has a used version where the price is cheaper than the digital version. And so you can get a great deal. I actually bought a game used for a really good deal just recently. So that is the market option they're trying to take off the table because they know that there's no more used market. There's no other market on a PlayStation. You can't get Steam on PlayStation. You can't get GOG on PlayStation. These are non-options. So they control the market, and it is effectively a monopoly. And that is awful. And because what will happen is Sony will have their monopoly, Nintendo will have their monopoly, and then eventually Xbox will be like, well, why would we not have our own monopoly? And then you have you have closed ecosystems where you're forced to pay the price that the company deems the price that you need to pay, and that is awful for the consumer. That's awful for anybody who has a future wanting to play games. And that might not be good for the future because, again, there's a breaking point. There's a point where people just say, I'm bowing out. And then they have to increase the prices on a smaller and smaller audience. And then if you still want to play games that way, you're screwed, or go to PC. So I think that's the other layer. I think, and I think that's where some people get to. But I think maybe a layer deeper that might be slightly beyond the conversation, that Brian also hinted to, is the idea of ownership. Do you actually own your games? It is true that when you buy a game on a disc, it is essentially data. You put it on your system and it goes to a server. And there's been physical games that come out and you could put a disc in and it doesn't matter. You can't play the game anymore, which did create essentially stop killing games. But the fact that you can't, when you don't have physical media, there, even if you lose the right to play a game on the PlayStation Store, if you have a physical game, the license is on the disc. It's not on the essentially on the PlayStation itself. So it'll read the license, and you could still mostly, for the most part, play the game. But going all digital, saying you're just buying a license, has changed what it means to own anything. And this is a bad precedent for the future of all media. And I don't think people really understand that. Eventually, what the idea is going to be that, and I could see this happening too. It's a possibility. It's not an impossibility. It's the idea that when you buy something, you never really buy it. You don't really own it. You buy the license to have it. I mean, if with any other product, that would be asinine. You buy a car, you bought the license to have to have the car. I mean, obviously we have licenses, but like to actually own the car, you just bought the license to have the Tesla or whatever, or the Ford or the Chevy. But if that license can be revoked, that means someone can come up, take your car, and just leave it, even though you're making the payments on it. Even though that's hard to do nowadays, but even though you're making the payments on it, they can just come up. Yeah, we don't have the license to this car anymore from the dealer, so we got to take it and give it back to the Ford company or whatever. And any other purchasing, that is ridiculous. And only one of the few safe havens from that was physical media. But Brian even said, "Oh, would it suck? Yeah, if I paid $70 for a game and then it's gone. Yeah, that would suck. That would more than just suck. That would be, I would say, a consumer rights violation. And if that's where the future of gaming is going to, then there's really no point in buying any game, because it's a very long rental essentially. And I think that's the biggest problem. I think that's the heart of the issue here. People want to feel like they own their games. They want to feel like when they work and they buy something, that it's theirs because they've earned and they have the right to it. But if you only have a right to a license, and that license is only for a digital medium, you just rented the game for a long time. And the idea that, oh well, Xbox Game Pass or whatever, that's a rental system. And I think everybody understands that that's a rental system you only have access to as long as you pay for it. I think everybody understands that. I think that's besides the point. But I think the idea of buying, quote unquote, a license for a game to have in your system for as long as they are allowed to have it. And keep in mind, I'm sure anybody who's listening to this who's not bored to tears by now, but keep in mind that anybody who's who bought a movie from PlayStation, when they lost all those licenses to those movies, those were gone. And there's no guarantee that won't happen to video games either. There's nothing. If Capcom says, "Hey, we're pulling the license from Sony," all those games you bought, that gone. All it takes is some company getting mad at another company and wants to make their life a living hell, and that happens a lot. So yeah. So those are my arguments. I think they're pretty irrefutable. Brian, if you really want to refute any of them, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, I mean, those are pretty good arguments. Yeah, like
I win. Fuck you, Brian. I win.
I mean, I don't know if it's like a if we were like versing each other, but um, like if you let's say like you just owned an Xbox, and the main reason why you own an Xbox is so because you don't have much money, and you wanted your Xbox for Game Pass, so you could pay $22 a month and get all those games, day one on Game Pass.
But
And
you
let's
do
say,
realize when someone gets Game Pass, they kind of understand that they're getting Netflix for games. They're not no one like I when I open up Netflix or any of these apps, I don't feel like I own those things. I feel like I'm paying to stream that game. It's a service. It's not mine, right? I'm paying for that service. Like if
yeah,
so I think that's a different argument than
I'll tell
like
you one thing,
go ahead.
because eventually when this happens in 2028, so I'm assuming Sony's going to actually do this, because they've more or less, like in a kind of a roundabout way, said it's going to happen regardless. It is what it is, and I'd be. I don't think Sony right now. They're in the lead big time, and this is why I'm always rooting for Xbox, even though they kick themselves in the nuts all the time. This is why a big reason why I'm always rooting for Xbox is because Sony does shit like this. Okay, because they're so far ahead that they can do this stuff and get away with it. Let's say in 2029, it's been a year since. In 2028, they're going to get rid of all the discs. Let's say in 2029, January 1st, they say, hey, starting from now on, every game on PlayStation, exclusives, third parties, we're going to charge $100. They can, they can easily eat crow on that.
Well, but the thing about that is that was to my second point that they can create a monopoly and there's nothing against it. The reason physical games should still exist
Well,
is the fact
people will go to Sony, or I'm sorry,
Xbox.
Microsoft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean they could but that's not. But the problem is that imagine when we were younger, right? And games were like $50 a pop. Could you imagine paying $70 or $80 for a game back then?
No, but
Exactly. But hold on.
if you adjust for inflation, Aaron,
No,
games
no,
are
no, no,
nice.
no. Fuck inflation. Wages don't rise as much to catch up to inflation. That's not how that works. All right. Yeah, you have more money in your pocket when you're older as an adult, but you also have more expenses. So yeah, when I was 16, did I pay rent? No. But now that I'm
Adjusting for
fucking
inflation, those N64 games were
yeah,
$90.
but
By
it's
God.
total bullshit. Total bullshit. Because you know what? When I was a kid and I had a job and I bought my games, yeah, I didn't pay rent. So making like whatever I was making an hour back then, which I won't say, and it was minimum wage. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, $50 for a game was a lot, but it wasn't like I'm paying rent and a car note and electricity and all the other expenses I have, family, kids, or whatever for other people. You know what I mean? And then now you got to pay $70 for a game? No, 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 no. The economical strain is higher. So it's like I don't agree with that stupid argument of inflation and all that. No, I don't agree with that at all. Cost is a negotiation between the person trying to sell and the person trying to buy. But if it's only digital and the person the company holding the cards it says this is the price and you can't get it anywhere else for cheaper and there's no physical option to get it for cheaper, then they say what they determine the price and either buy or don't buy it. But come on, over time you'll buy.
This is where, like, what you just said is exactly why I always want Microsoft to do well and succeed. Because
I
if
do
Sony
too,
were
but the problem is Sony is going to force Microsoft's hand because as soon
no,
as they
yeah,
say no more
what's going to
discs,
happen? What's
Microsoft
going
will
to
follow.
happen? Yeah, because they've came out and said, yeah, we're not getting rid of physical media, but after a year,
Actually,
when
they've
they
never said
see,
that. They haven't commented on it. They haven't said if they
no, I
will, if
think,
they
yeah,
won't.
I think the Indian girl said something about that.
Her name is Asha Sharma. You say it right for that beautiful, beautiful brown goddess. No, I'm playing. No, they haven't. I've looked into this. They haven't made a stance yet. I think they're waiting to see what's going to happen with Sony before they make
Well,
a
Sony's going to
decision.
do it, and then after, because what's going to happen is, well, like, when you read the comments again, everybody's like, "Save the day. I'm not buying it unless it's physical. No physical, no buy." Most of the 90, I would say, let me be about 85% of those people are just talking noise, just to talk noise. Because, and we
I,
know this is true,
I have no
because
idea. I have no idea,
well, the numbers
honestly.
are out there.
Well, the numbers, okay, we'll get to this. All right. The numbers don't tell the story that they're trying to say it tells. It says digital purchases outnumber physical purchases, but
No,
a
well, the
digital.
thing I have,
Go
let's
ahead.
see if I can bring it up. It says physical video game sales hit an all-time low of 85 million at, in July, as of July, of $85 million in the US, which is apparently the lowest physical media has ever been.
Okay,
So
the
that
reason
that
I'm asking. Okay, well, hold on. There might be a couple factors to that. One, the biggest physical media seller of video games has shrunk tremendously. That being GameStop. There's has not risen a physical video games store to meet its the demand. So the demand might still be high, but like for instance, to go to a GameStop, I have to travel like 20 miles to find my nearest GameStop. I don't know what it is for you, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty close to the
yeah,
same.
you can get stuff off Amazon though.
True, true, but I mean, most people don't buy games like that through Amazon. That's not the market because most of the market are brick and mortars when it comes to video game sales. And then two, I don't know if they're factoring in smaller business games. Maybe they only factor in major sellers like Target or Walmart or Best Buy or wherever. They might not be factor in like uh, secondhand stores or mom and pop stores. So I don't trust that number, and I don't trust the because again, I mean, people do buy stuff off of Walmart and all that, but GameStop being it's like one of the major market leaders at for a time, like diminishing essentially, has definitely changed how people buy games and the amount of where people would buy games. So I think that has something to do with the all the lowest sales ever.
So you're
Two,
basically saying that there's like really no way to find out the truth on that.
I'm saying that the way that they're accumulating the data, I have
I I
questions
have
about
to
how they're
think.
accumulating that data.
I mean, this is just an assumption, but I have to assume that if people were really buying physical media a lot, then there would be no reason for them to stop selling physical media
No,
because
it's not.
they'd
That's
be
not
making
true.
money.
That's not true. I can tell you exactly why it'd be beneficial for them to to try to end physical media. It is essentially that they will make more money overall. Like for instance, like anytime you sell at a store, you don't make the full amount of it. It's whatever the you get after the brick and mortar store gets its cut. So you might get like 30% less or 20% less than what you would get if it was digital. Not to mention manufacturing, not to mention kiosks, not to mention all the other stuff that it takes to put a game physically in a store. All the distribution and everything that you got to pay for. So by the time you sell the game, you've made less money on it. But if you look at how many people are buying games versus how much you would lose, how much, like, say you lost all of them. I'm not saying you will, but let's say you did, right? Because they're probably hedging their bets that not all of them are gonna, you know, all of a sudden, oh well, no, like what you're saying. Oh well, if there's no disc, I'm not buying anymore. They're probably betting on at least a portion of them staying and with Sony and still buying digital. Um, so they probably did the math and said, hey, we'll make more money in the long run if we just stop doing that. And it was just purely a financial decision. So I do think there's a way that even though it was a healthy enough part of the business, it wasn't the most economically sound for the company to keep doing that. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I'm saying that like this isn't the will of the people. This is the will of Sony. They see the tipping point and they think they can finally push it over the edge. I think that's what that I mean I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I think a lot of people have said this before. I'm definitely not the first person to say this, you know. So so yeah. Uh fuck you, Sony. Uh So yeah, dude. Like I mean, I know how you. I know like you're a little less because you know whatever, but I think the future is very bleak, and I mean, I really don't know how else to fight it other than to say no disc, no buy, and to stand by that. And I think. I mean, I wish everybody who said no disc, no buy would be honest about it and just at least even if 50%, 80%, you know, stick to their guns. I encourage everybody to because I'm, you know, yeah, I'm about done with Sony. I'm about to sell my PS5 and my games and just be done with it because you know, yeah, yeah, I hear what you're saying about the PC market, but like at the end of the day, dude, some games are DRM free that you can just download and run straight through your system, and also Steam is a better is the alternate to Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo for that matter. So you know. I don't know. Steam should start making discs. They should partner with people to put Steam discs in.
Oh, dude, they don't care.
I know. I'm
They
just
can't
saying,
even
like,
make a
but
good
good.
machine.
Oh god, the Steam machine. Oh
Yeah.
man, you know what? We'll do a PC gaming thing. I'll talk about it. I'll talk about my setup and all that. But we'll talk about we'll have a PC day because I know you're not a PC gamer. So and to be fair, I'm like a very light PC gamer. Like my setup's shit. But yeah, no, I really don't think there's any good like argument to even like say it's not so bad. I think it's really bad. I think this is like this is the push to an all digital future that I think nobody wants. Cuz like video games is the most high selling market in all of medium. It's bigger than movies, it's bigger than music, it's obviously bigger than books. You
Yeah,
know
look
what I
at
mean?
GTA 5.
I know. So I mean, like, fuck that game. But
We're
like,
bringing it back around, baby.
that's right. But like, so, but if this tips, dude, you don't think everything else is gonna fall in line? They're look. You don't think everybody's looking at it saying, "Can we
Oh
do
yeah,
it?
because
Can
Sony's
we?"
they're one of the biggest companies in the world when it comes to
Video games?
media,
Yeah, yeah.
electronics. Yeah,
Well, I mean, no one buy who the fuck had a Sony
it's
Vios? Come on.
scary for sure.
Yeah, so that's why I say it's not okay. I think the fight. This is like one of those things where you know we were talking about earlier.
The
Where's the
scary thing to
line?
me is,
But
the scary thing to me is like if they don't see like a big backlash in 2028 on this, and then 2029 comes and they're like, oh hey, guess what? Games are going to be $100 from now on. What are you going to do about it? You're going to not play games?
I mean, would you?
We don't know where Microsoft's going to be at this point because they're talking about maybe selling the company. They're doing a bunch of stupid shit right now. They're selling a console for $900 here pretty
Oh,
soon.
that's a collector's item. That's not a
I understand, but
that's
they're not making smart moves right now, and we don't know
no.
where they're going to be in 2029. So
I think they downsized. I thought that was pretty smart that they did that. I think that they I think that they are looking to make good decisions. I think it's this is going to be a very hard fight for them. I'm not for Microsoft in the sense that like, oh, I love Xbox. Well, I mean, I used to love Xbox, and all that, but like they like Sony needs I think Sony needs
yeah,
um,
yeah, competitor.
yeah, exactly. But
There's
if Microsoft
they're literally the only company.
if Microsoft said, "Hey, we have discs," it could be the repeat of the. You remember when they were like, "This is how you share your games on Sony" and all that, and everybody has memed them to death now, right?
Golly, remember that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they could switch it, if they pull the trigger, say, hey, you know what, we're having a disc reader. Microsoft supports physical media. Then, like, you know, just out of goodwill, how many people would just start buying Xboxes? How many people would start like? Because it's like, but it would really just be them. Because like even Nintendo's not really a competitor to Sony or Microsoft. They're kind of their own thing. So it's like you know, but the question is, will they do that? This is really kind of where we're at. And if not, I think what will happen is most people will either fall in line or they'll get PCs. And maybe if you know, maybe it will be the death of consoles. Maybe people will just not buy $1,200 systems with $120 games. and then the consoles just die, and there's only Nintendo and PC,
Well,
and
Nintendo
Sony.
will they'll do it too.
So
I mean,
Nintendo,
don't get it twisted. Nintendo's a piece of shit company as well. Don't get it
yeah, no, no,
twisted.
no. But they run their own race, so we'll see
Yeah,
what's up.
but if let's say if what you say is true and that eventually does happen by 2032 or whatever, you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think Nintendo's going to sell games for
No,
like
I
$100
don't
a
think so
pop?
too. There are no heroes here. There's only like your best and worst options. I'm not so like naive to think that. But I do think that if Microsoft was smart, they would hit now while it's hot. And if they did, they would. I think how many people would right now switch to an Xbox if they knew that Xbox will deliver in the future to space
Not
media?
many, not many at all, because they don't
Well,
have anything to.
hold on. Well, do I mean, you understand the concept of like like the goodwill of the market, right? Like
I
that's not.
understand, but Microsoft doesn't have anything down the pipe that's coming out in the next 5 years or so.
They get the exact same third party games. So
Yeah,
I
like they don't do anything to like to remote to get me to buy an Xbox. That's the
no,
problem.
I know, but like there would listen, it would there would be a surge of people who would go switch to Xbox if they promised physical media in the future. Like are you not going to say
Nah, I
that?
don't.
You think you really don't think that would make any difference at all after the backlash Sony's been getting?
Honestly, I think people are so crazy and stuck in their ways on things that, again, all the people they talk on the internet, but talk is cheap on the internet. And I don't, and I think if Sony even come out in 2028 and said, hey, everything is digital and everything's going to be, let's just say, because everything's 70, 60, $70, everything's going to be $80.
Yeah.
I don't, maybe like 0.2% of people might switch to Xbox, but I highly doubt it because people, a
I
lot of people,
wonder. No,
most
see, I
Sony
wonder
ponies
about that. I don't. I wonder about that because the
because
thing is,
most Sony ponies think like me with, oh, I've been integrated in this trophy system forever. All my friends are here. This is where I
yeah,
play Call of Duty.
But people left Xbox for the same thing. They left Xbox because
Sure,
they
but
felt
this has been
betrayed
going on
by
for
they felt
so
betrayed.
many more years now that they're not going to switch over. And Xbox doesn't have any games, dude. They don't put out any games.
I know. Well, for one, they could pull the trigger and say no. Call of Duty's only us, but I don't think they will. But what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is
There are three big games that they have down the pipeline. They're not going to be out until the next generation, dude. They don't
yeah,
know what the hell they're doing in
that's
Microsoft
true.
lands. Still,
I don't disagree with that. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I wonder how you. I think you think the backlash is relatively small. You don't think it's like you don't think it'll make any waves, and I actually think
I
it's
don't.
making.
I think like 0.1%. I think everybody whining on the internet, 0.1% of those people will actually do anything.
Interesting.
Myself
I
included.
tend to think differently, not because I'm a idealist, but because I think when it comes to people's wallets, they really care. And as soon
I
as
think if
money's
Sony were to actually say, "Hey, guess what? In 2029, games are going to be $80 or $100 from now on," then that's when you'll see it. That's when you'll see people switch.
but that problem is a market failure of the lack of physical media to be a stopgap for game prices.
I think no, don't get. I think a lot of people are pissed off and they do care about losing physical media. Even the people that, like, again, I don't want physical media to go anywhere, even though I don't buy it. I guess I'm a hypocrite, but I think everybody whining on the internet, those people don't buy physical. I think they buy digital, but they're like me. They don't want to see it gone permanently because
And that
that's
might be true
a
too. Like,
horrible future.
I don't. You and I would agree it's not. It could be a both and. They're like, I don't want to be only physical media and not digital. Obviously, it's a both and. But I don't. But again, no other media does that. Sony would be the only medium would be the only company
But
in
I
the
don't
media.
see those people switching though because of that. Let's just
I think
say,
it's possible
let's
because
just say,
hold on. Think about what killed Xbox before. It was the whole online all the time thing. If you can't be online all the time, you can't play Xbox. That's what killed Microsoft. Essentially, that was the tipping point. And even though they backtracked and everything, it was too late. It was such bad PR. Oh, that's the word I'm looking for. PR. The PR was so bad that Sony had that had PS4 and PS5. That's only two generations to be fair. That's really not that much because because Xbox and Xbox 360
it's
did
like
very well.
12
The Xbox
years.
360, huh?
It's like 12 years.
Yeah, but put Xbox and Xbox 360 together. That's about the same time, isn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah. So I mean, it's only two generations. I mean, you know, so it's like it's not a. And honestly, I don't think people have been in love with Sony this generation either. So there's not really a lot. Like we've been clowning on the last three games that they kind of came through that we were talking about. At least I was clowning on the all three. You were clowning on just two. So it's like
I wish.
there's no
I mean, I'm
love
sure they've
here.
put this out, but I would love to see the sales just of a, just for example of a Ghost of Yotai. I would like to see the sales for that game.
I would too. I would too. I know it's less than the last one. It did okay, but it's less than the last one. And again, I've been saying the trend is down. The trend for Sony has been not the best. It's been down. I mean, obviously, God of War, Lady God of War from Devil May Cry, or what's it called? Lady God of War from
Lady God of War.
oh God, what was that show she was in?
God of War Luffy.
Yeah, Luffy. Yeah, God of War Luffy. I'm gonna be king of the pirates. Um, Yeah, no, I'm Daredevil. There we go. She was in Daredevil. She's good in that too. At least the first two seasons. Um, but yeah, so I'll be interested to see what happens. I thought we'd fight a lot more on this. I think you're where you're at with like only 0.2%. I don't know how you could possibly know that. I know it's like you're just throwing out your ass and whatever.
Oh, I know.
No, you don't. but but you know, I
No,
would be.
because like I just know how people are in general, and then I also know that Xbox doesn't have any great games coming out. That's like,
Right,
oh, I have to have an
but the
Xbox
thing
to play
about
this
stuff
game.
like that, dude, Brian, it's like things can change so quick. All it takes is like two good decisions, and like the whole thing has changed. You know what I mean? It really is like this stuff. This like none of this stuff is set in stone, and people are fickle. That's why I'm saying people are fickle. That's the only thing I'm
And
trusting.
Ihorn is fickle.
Say what?
And fickle is Ihorn.
Yeah. Fickle is Ihorn. He's a man. That one will go well in 2026. Take the shot. But yeah, all right. I think I am surprised that you didn't fight me as hard as you could. I'm a little uh, disturbed by your flippantness of how bad you think the backlash is or isn't. But I think we said essentially everything we need to say, unless you got something else.
No, that's pretty much it. Like I just again, let's just say for our argument's sake that after a year of them going all digital, they still keep the price at $70, 60 to $70 on games, then I don't think anybody switches to Xbox over this at all. Because even by then, they still won't have great games out, Microsoft. And people are just so invested in this ecosystem now that I think it's completely different versus when people switched from Microsoft to Sony back then. I think just the time is so different. I think the people that are stuck on Sony, they're just stuck on Sony at this point.
Well,
Now,
I have
if they
something to
do
talk about.
change, I'm sorry, what if they do change the prices on the games, then we're talking a whole different story here, possibly.
I think if Xbox said, "Hey, we're doing physical," and if like they have a system that's like a PC uh, console hybrid, like it's just a better system overall. And they have like at least three games that people want to buy. I actually think that will change things. They need a better console. They
I
need
smell a
to
pizza bit.
okay, I'll take that pizza bit. I don't think they will. I'm saying if they did. I'm not saying they will. I'm saying if they did, if they had physical media, or even what they have, like they're going to have going forward, where you could take a game and have it's a physical game, and then when you put it, all the digital, it just downloads to the system, and then when you take that disc out and you go to someone else's house and put it there, then all the game's there, but like it still follows the game, but it's still essentially digital. Even that would be better than what Sony's doing. So if they commit to that and they have two or three games that people really want to buy and have a system that's a better option than the PlayStation 6, then I think things could change, but it would really come like they'd have to make good decisions, and that has not been Xbox lately. And so I'm hopeful, but I'm also I'm a pessimist by nature, so we'll see. All right, cool, we did it, Brian. Look at that. Oh my goodness. The 129 minutes later. What is that? God, that's 2 hours and 10 minutes. Jesus.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
look at that. We're such good friends. We could talk forever. And by the way, I totally forgot we're doing a podcast. I thought we were just talking on the phone. I completely
Wow.
forgot. Yeah.
That's
I
kind
looked
of
at the. I don't know. I don't know if that's has that happened to you when we've been talking. We're like, oh, we're on the phone. Oh no, we're not on the phone. We're on a podcast.
don't make it weird, man. Don't make it weird.
I don't know. I just could talk to you forever. You're so nice. Something about your eyes. No, I'm playing. All
Oh,
right, no, we did it, Brian. Good job. Good job all around. High fives all around. Sorry. That's our third week anniversary of this podcast. Who would have thunk it? Uh, so let's go on to the fun part, the question for the podcast. Dun, 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 dun. Question for the pod. Dun, 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 dun. Question for the pod. That's what I want the song to be. It's like something like that. I'll ask Memo. Let's put it in.
sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Cool. It'll be like a hardcore kind of thing. All right, Brian. What is the question for the pod? And let's get through this quick because we've been. It's like 2 a.m. where you're at.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting sleepy land over here. Jesse from Nerds. Shout out to Jesse from Nerds
Shout out.
and those guys. Asked a question. Uh-oh. A little bit of echo there. Basically, if there was a concert of like 250 people capacity, like what would your 3 favorite bands be?
All right, you go first.
I have to pick Lorena Shore, most likely. Lona Shore. Oh man, this is tough. Because the majority of stuff I listen to now. Oh no, there's an echo.
Let me say mine because I have 3 down pat. Like I
Okay.
already know. Okay, so
I hear an echo on my end, by the way.
it hasn't been throughout the whole podcast. It's on. It's at the end. No one's made it this far, Brian. It'll be fine. No one's made it this far. So, and if they have, God bless you, man. I'll give you a big old hug throughout the internet. So mine is number one, Cannibal Corpse, because of the gym. Because Ace Ventura, there's about 250 people in there, and I would love to recreate that scene where I get up on stage and do bad death metal vocals, and then dive bomb to the crowd so they can take me away from the people chasing me. So number one, Cannibal Corpse. I think that was such a cool scene, such a pivotal moment for my metalhead journey. So number one, Cannibal Corpse. Number two, Dillinger Escape Plan. I went to one of their shows when there was like 200 something people in there. Those dudes are nuts. They're crazy. They freaking just raw on all over the stage. It's a great hardcore show. Dillinger Escape Plan, 100%. It would be sick. Someone's gonna get kicked in the teeth. Someone might even die. Who knows? So Dillinger Escape Plan. And number three, a little one that might be you might not expect from me, but there was a band back in the day called He Is Legend, and I love that band. Love that band. They're so cool. The vocals, the sound, the feel, like, and they have like what I call like a club, like a big club feel. Like they're not like an arena band. They're not like touring with like they're not going to the big festivals and all that kind of stuff. They were like they kind of made that scene, that time feel like, when you go to the door, that was like a 250 person place. You know what I mean? It was like, or like the side door. Like it wasn't like huge, but it was like big enough. You put 250 people in there, it felt like a big deal. And it felt like they felt like that kind of band where it's like, it was a little more personal, a little more raw. And like, even like in the early music videos they had, it just had like that smaller budget feel, but still felt cool. And it felt like, it felt like you're a part of something that was like a little more underground. And that's why I got the feeling with this question. It's like, what kind of bands are like more underground, more like, that haven't quite hit it yet, but like, obviously, Cannibal Corpse is a huge band now, but if it was like the 1990s, that'd have been a sick time to go do that. And then obviously Dillinger Escape Plan, just a raw people to be around. And then, yeah, He's Legend. That would have been that. I think I've been to a show like that, but it'd be great to go again. Now you.
Okay. Um, I have to go with Luna Shore. That's my number one. That's my favorite band. And oh man, this is toughy. It's a Luna Shore for sure. Um,
The answer is Luna Shore 3 times. You see him on Friday, you see him on Saturday, and then you see him on Sunday.
I mean, I've seen it that many times anyway. So
It's a different group of 250 people. And each time you go backstage to meet the band, and they know you by name, and you're their biggest fan, and you get a free T-shirt and a hug. That's the answer. Luna Shore 3 times. So Lorena, whatever their name is.
so say Luna Shore, and then this is a toughie between Suicide Silence and Carnifex, because I was obsessed with both of those bands so much when I was growing up. Oof. I'll go Carnifex. So Luna Shore, Carnifex.
One more.
You know what? Because I'm such a relevant person on everything. Like I don't go back and do much of anything lately these days anymore. Watching movies or play games or listen to music. I was look ahead on things. I'll say Peeling Flesh just because they're just so much fun. So we'll have like two serious deathcore bands, and we'll have a fun slam band.
The way I took it is like they were different shows, and you're gonna go to like 3 different shows. So I guess like if you mean like on set together, and then my answer.
I worry about your interpretation of things.
So my mind is just so beyond yours that it sees things that you can't possibly imagine. It's the blonde hair, man. You know, it naturally dumbs you.
That's crazy.
All right, cool. Oh my gosh, you know, I was gonna do Joe's MetaQuest minute, but it's like 2:30 your time, so we'll save that for next week. I know you're tired. You're probably about to go to bed, even though you want to try to stay hip with the young people. You're like 45 years old, and that's just impossible. So I'll let you go to bed, old timer. I get fucked.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh man, how much of that did you miss?
Well, whatever you just did, your vocals sound a lot better.
Okay. I don't know, man. So yeah, but all right, man. I'll go ahead and let you go, everybody. That's been the podcast. Thank you so much. Please again leave another questions if you have them. If you made it this far, again, God bless you. Golly, this is like a 4-hour podcast or something. But shout out to the guys from Nerds again for thank you for the question. Please follow us on all our social medias. Please leave a question on any one of the types of videos or listening devices. If you have any comments, concerns, maybe you're worried about Brian and the fact that he's 95 years old, staying up past 12 o'clock. That might be a problem we need to talk about. You got anything else before we go, Brian?
No, that's pretty much it. I'm about to hit the hay.
All right. Well, don't hit them too hard. All right, everybody. Well, have a week.
Have a week.